everybody. Thank you so much for coming to class today. My name is Kristen. This class is called Active Yoga Basics. And if you're new to this class, it's really a foundational practice. So a way to kind of fine tune some of the shapes you maybe are used to being in, or maybe a way to just learn how to be in some of these shapes for what's going on in your body, right? So you might see me do some things today that don't feel like they're necessarily available in your body. That's okay. Yoga is always available to you, just in a different way. So if you think about what is available in my body and what's available in your body is going to be two totally different things. So as we move through class today, just trying to adjust accordingly for what ultimately feels better in your body. We are an alignment-based practice, but you have to balance that with what feels good and what's bad as well. Okay, so we're going to start by building mountain pose like we always do. Separating the feet about hip width distance. If you're unsure of where your hips are, which is very common, a lot of us think our hips are like out to here, when really they're not even here, but our hip bones are here. So you're going to create fist from that space, right? Think about where your hip bones are, bring them together, and then bend down, place those hands in between your big toes, and that gives you a good approximate setup. Now, if you can't bend all the way down to do that, just aim and do the best you can. Then lift all your toes up, spread them out wide, and place them back down on your mat. We'll wake up the feet now, so begin to lift up your heels. And you could do this from a chair, right? You'd still be lifting your heels. And then bring your heels down, lift one or both feet, check in with your balance. And then forwards and backwards, as many times as you like. Just be aware of what you feel when you lift your heels. My ankles always pop here, so that's what I notice. You might feel tightness in the arch of your foot or in your calf. All right, we'll add a little movement side to side, roll to the outer edge of one foot and then the other. At your own pace, right? You may need to spend a little bit longer in some of these spots. If it's okay with your knees, wait towards your big toe mounds, but just mindful not to move the knee too much. Just let it move naturally. And then we'll see if we can bring all these together, forwards, backwards, left to right, getting rid of anything that's not working for you. All right, now let's settle. Lift up all the toes again, spread them out a little wider, and place them back down on your mat. Put a little pressure down into the big toe mounds, like you're just pressing your big toes down. And hold that, shift the weight into the outer edges of your heels. Then bring a little pressure down to the little toes and awareness to the inner edges of your heels. So this might feel like a lot of work. You might feel like you're pressing down and almost pulling away the mat with your feet. From here, a little bend in your knees to soften your lower back. We're still working through the feet, but let's engage the core now. So pelvic floor in and up, belly button to your spine, lift your ribs up, and take a moment to roll your shoulders around. You can move your shoulders separately. They don't have to move together. Let your shoulders settle, palms flip a little forward, not a huge movement. You don't have to like totally change the direction of your body to flip your arms forward. Then check in with your chin. It might be leaning forward, draw it back. On an inhale, begin to straighten the legs, standing a little bit taller. And on your exhale, see if you can feel more grounded down through your feet. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If it's a part of your practice, palms together, center of your chest, Anjali Mudra. And here you might like to create an intention for your practice. This could be prayer, this could be a goal, mantra, this could be a moment of silence. Take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. If you closed your eyes, open them up. Interlace your fingers and place them underneath your chin. Hold the engagement of your core and look up towards your ceiling. On your exhale, let it be a loud ha sound, bringing your elbows together, just like this. Inhale, level your chin, lifting up your elbows. Shoulders stay down. Exhale, head back. Elbows squeezing in as the air squeezes out. Inhale, level your chin, lift up your elbows. Exhale, head back. At your own pace, inhaling to lift your elbows. Exhaling to bring the elbows in. 2 more. Try to take in little extra sips at the very top. And on this last one, see if you can slow it down. Extra sip in. Exhale, squeeze all the old air out. Elbows touch when breathless. Arms down by your sides, back to your mountain pose. With your inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, release your index, cross your thumbs. Bring your feet in towards each other. If this creates any discomfort in your lower back, just separate your feet a little. So we're going to make sure the core is engaged, pressing down from the feet, reaching up with your shoulders down. Begin to stretch a little side to side. And your arms can be by your side. You could have one arm up. You could have your hands at your hips or hands at the center of your chest. There's different options to make it more accessible. Sometimes reaching the arms overhead is not the best choice. So a little movement backwards and forwards. And maybe you take some circles around your waist. Whatever you do in one direction, try to do the best you can on the other side. And make your way back to your center. Zipping up your core, inhale, lift up your chest. On your exhale, half moon, stretch up and over to your right. Hips stay in alignment in this style class. So we ground from the feet, squeeze the thighs and glutes, pull up from your core, shoulders down as you reach up. Check in with your chin, you may need to bring it back a bit. Full breath in, find some space. Core stays engaged on your exhale, reach. Inhale back up. Take as much time as you need, and when you're ready, your exhale takes you to the left, stretching down the right side of your body. So it's pretty common to twist a little forward, or maybe the hips are moving in a different direction. So if you could see yourself in a mirror, or maybe you could see yourself in the reflection of the Zoom meeting, squeeze the glutes, check in with the hips, make sure they are lined up with the shoulders, and as it's available to you, reach further. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale back up. And on your exhale, release your arms down by your sides. So we'll set up for a chest opener, which could also be called a little baby back bend. Separate your feet about hip width distance, 2 fists in between the big toes if you're unsure. If we need more stability for the lower back, we'll take a block or a pillow and place it in between the thighs or the feet. Otherwise, take your hands, spread them out wide, flip the palms down, place them at your lower back and try to draw your elbows in. With your inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, engage the core and glutes and press your hands into your lower back. Shift your weight into your heels. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, hips forward. Keep drawing up from the core, from the pelvic floor. Inhale back to your center. Exhale back to your mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Look up if you can, or if you just like to. On your exhale, forward fold, take as much time as you need. You can walk your hands down your legs if you need to. That's a nice supportive way to move, especially if we have some lower back issues. So a little bend in the knees, grab for opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. And just hang out in this fold. You might move a little bit side to side. You may like to move the weight forwards and backwards a little. Just make sure your head's heavy. Instead of looking at the floor or out in front of you, try looking behind you. Engage your core and see if you can get your body to fold a little bit more. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If you'd like to add a shoulder opener here, you could place your hands around your lower back, interlacing the fingers, knuckles up and over. If we need some more space here, maybe you can't get a good stretch or the grip, you could use a block or a pillow, or like a belt in between the hands to give you more space to be able to move. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your hands down towards the floor. If it's okay with your knees, mindful of your knees, begin to lower your hips down towards your heels and make yourself into a little ball shape. If your knees and hips say no way, just go back to your fold and we'll be back there in a minute. So chin towards your chest, shoulders away from your ears, elbows in. You can stay here Or you can look a little forward and lift and lower your heels. Just lifting and lowering, try to stretch out the feet. And we'll add a hip opener. So spin your heels in. Open up your knees as wide as it's available to you. Walk your hands forward and shift your weight back into your hips. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk your hands back towards your body and grab one of your blocks. So we'll move into a twist here. If you're working with blocks, just remember they have different heights. So you want to have your chest as lifted as you can. If you get crunchy or rounded in the spine, give yourself some more height. So both feet hip width distance. Bend both knees, but bend your right knee more. Your right knee bends more. Press down from the toes. Engage your core with your inhale, left arm up. So working into a stretch here, you might look up. Looking down might be a better option for you. You could flip your palm away and bend at the elbow to help open up the chest a little more. Just think of creating space between the ribs and the hips, so press the hip away. Deep breath in. On your exhale, slowly move back to your forward fold. Okay, let's switch it for the other side. So left hand grounds. Bend both knees, bend your left knee more. Inhale to twist, right arm up. Shoulders away from your ears. Think of pressing your chest forward and up, pressing your right hip back. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And on your next exhale, move back to your forward fold. Okay, so now we might take our hands to the back of our calves or peace fingers under your big toes. You might take your hands under the sides of your feet. So whatever's best for you, set up there. Inhale to lift up your chest, draw the shoulders back. And on your exhale, pull your upper body down. Slide your shoulders back away from your ears. Shift your weight towards your toes to help you lift your hips. And spinning your thighs inwards will help you do that. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Slowly release your grip, hands to your shins. Inhale, lift halfway. On your exhale, make sure you have blocks set up towards the top of your mat. Bend your knees and step your right foot back into a lunge. So from this lunge, lower your back knee down. If we need more support, put a blanket under the knee or under the top of your foot. Lift your blocks up, walk them back towards your body. Make sure your hips feel square here. It's really easy to drop one of your hips down. Inhale to lift up your chest. Exhale, half splits, flex your left foot. Take the blocks back, keep lifting up from the chest, right? The moment you're rounding, you're actually going to cause more tightness in the front of the body. So sitting up tall is essential. Take a moment to point and flex. Flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale to your lunge. And on your exhale, back to your half splits. So now we'll just flex the foot, drawing the toes back. Maybe you could separate your toes and wiggle them. Maybe you notice that it feels a little weird when you do that from time to time. Inhale back to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits. We'll hold this one. Make sure the hips feel like they're pretty squared. Elbows in, and begin to hinge a little bit forward. Tuck your chin. Inhale to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee up off your mat. Look forward, then hover your right knee down. Inhale, lift up your right leg, flex your foot. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. On your exhale, bend your knees, pick up your left foot, step it back into your lunge. Lower your back knee down. Taking a moment here, set yourself up, make sure your knee and your ankle are lined up with each other. Left hip forward, right heel draws back. Inhale, lengthen through your chest. Exhale to your half splits, flexing your right foot. So take some time here. Once you feel pretty equal in the hips, Shoulders, take a moment for nerve glides, point and flex. And when you do that, think of engaging the thigh. Pretty tough. Flex your foot, engage your core, inhale to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits, and we'll hold this one. So you lengthen up first, create space, and then maybe you can hinge and fold a bit. Inhale to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee up off your mat, looking a little bit forward. Think of lengthening your spine. Hover your left knee down. Inhale, lift up your left leg, flex your foot. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly begin to roll up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up to standing. So take a break anytime you need to. Take more time in between any of these standing shapes that we're about to if you need to, okay? We're gonna use a block. I'll place it at the center of my mat, and you might need 2 blocks, right? So take both with you if you think you need it. I'm gonna be at the top right of my mat, preparing to step out to the left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, kick your left foot out on purpose, like you're gonna kick something, and then bring your foot down. From here, we'll take the arms out to a T shape, hands to your hips, hands to heart center, whichever feels best for you. And then a little movement through the shoulders. So if the arms are extended, it's gonna be little circles around the shoulders. If the hands are at your hips, it might be larger circles around the shoulders, or with your hands at heart center. So just do what feels best for you. Try them all out. All right, so we're grounding from the feet. Engage the thighs. Bring your arms out if you're in another shape. Full breath in. On your exhale, hinge forward. Hands down to the floor or your block. And just begin to bend one knee, bend the other knee, stretching the inner thighs from side to side. If you have a larger range of motion, feel free to move into it. And then come back to your fold. So turn your big toes in a little bit so the rest of your feet turn in. And we'll place the block in between the feet and forward so that when we bring our hand down and we lean forward, we're lined up. Okay, so the right hand grounds, engage your core, inhale, left arm up. We did this twist earlier with the feet closer together. So the difference here is that they're separate. So we ground from the feet, spin the thighs inwards. Reach from the left fingertips or work into your half bind. Deep breath in. Exhaling to twist. Bring your left hand down. Just neutralize your spine for a moment. Hang heavy. And we'll switch it out. So left hand grounds, engage your core. Inhale to twist, right arm up. You might know that you have a tighter side just by how you feel from side to side. I'm reminded of that today on this side. So shift your weight to your toes. Lift your chest to twist. Deep breath in. Slow breath up. Right hand down. Come back to your fold and just hang out for a moment. And take your hands either to your calves, your ankles, under the sides of your feet, or those peace fingers around your big toes. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale to pull your upper body down. And when you do that, the elbows go out, shoulders away from your ears. You may need to wiggle around a little bit to find some more range of motion. Spin the thighs inwards to lift your hips. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hands to the floor or your block, lift up halfway. Make sure you're pulling your core tight. And you can take your hands to your hips or reach your arms out to your T shape. Inhale up. Arms up overhead. Bend your right knee. Right foot steps over to the left. Arms by your sides. That's okay if that's a couple steps, right? Sometimes for me, my body just keeps going and I have to catch up. So, find yourself in mountain pose when you're ready. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, now a big step out to the right. Remember, like you're kicking something on purpose. and bring it down. And that just turns on the adductors of our hips, right? Makes the body work a little more. So we'll bring the arms out to a T shape, turn the right foot out to the right, turn your left foot in just a little bit, and bend and straighten your right leg. And here you might need to walk the foot out a little bit or slide your left foot back to create some more space. You may need to have your hands closer to your body, right? If you're starting to work too hard, you're out of breath, if it's just not a good space for you, hands closer to your body. Deep breath in, slow breath out as you settle. Right knee tracks open towards the pinky toe. Press down through the outer edge of your left foot. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Reach forward, flip your palm, inhale to reverse, right arm up and back. Left hand can slide down the left thigh, or it can rest at the lower back in a half bind. Just mindful not to hold on or sink down into the wrist of your left hand. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Returning back to your warrior two on your exhale. Straighten your right leg. We'll switch it out. Right foot turns in a little. Left foot turns out a lot. Bend and straighten your left leg. Okay, so settling down into warrior two, Virabhadrasana on this side. Down from the shoulders, lifted from your chest, reaching from your fingertips, core is engaged. Now, sometimes when we reach here, we actually reach forward with the torso a little bit. So try to make sure your shoulders and your hips are fairly lined up. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Reach forward, flip your left palm, inhale to reverse. Left arm up, check in with the shoulders. Sometimes the shoulder wants to be forward, so really work on bringing it back. You might look up. You might like that half bind. Inhale to find space. Exhale to move into it. On your next exhale, just return back to your warrior two. Straighten your left leg, pivot your toes, shorten your stance just a little bit. Arms up overhead, bend your left knee, left foot steps over to the right. Exhale, back to your mountain pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Okay, so now we're going to work into tree pose. We'll start by grounding the left foot down, lifting up the right heel and taking your knee out to the right. This is a hip opener before it's a balance posture. So you want to open up the hip first and then slide your heel up off the floor where it's best for you. Anywhere is fine except for the knee. It's okay if you use your hand to bring your foot up towards the inner thigh. Retracting the knee open. We're going to squeeze the left thigh and the glute towards the right side of the body. One or both hands at heart center, lift your chest. And from here, it's your tree. There's no such thing as a wrong tree. So you might play around with the arms. Your tree might fall over. Hopefully not too badly of a crash. Start over if you have time. If this feels easy to you, try looking up. Maybe lift your left foot. I'm going to step out of the frame for just a moment. So just practice your tree. Start over if it becomes a little unstable. All right, so coming back to your mountain pose when you're ready, and we'll reset and set up for the other side. So sometimes I like to turn the toes under on each foot, just a little reset for the top of my foot, just kind of like a little counter stretch. Ground your right foot, lift your left heel, take your knee out to your left. Then from here, same thing, different side, right? Could be a totally different tree. Set yourself up, one or both hands to heart center. Squeeze the right thigh and glute, track your left knee open. And when you track your left knee open, make sure the rest of your body doesn't go with you. If that's you, it's okay. But you maybe should have your hands at your hips or one hand on your hip, one hand on your left knee. Little pressure there to help open it up, lift the chest. This is where I'm going to stay. This feels pretty good. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Engage from the core. Press down from your foot to get a little taller. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Mindfully bring the knee back into alignment. Lower your left foot down. Separate the feet, hip width distance. Remember, you can always use a block between the thighs. We'll take another chest opener here. Take the hands, flip them down, place them at your lower back. Inhale to lift your chest. Now engage your core and glutes, and on your exhale, press into your hips. Shift your weight back into your heels. Lift your chest a little more. And make your way back to your center, arms by your sides. We'll move to the floor now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway. On your exhale, lower your hips down. Now from here, you may want to try out your balance, lowering your feet down to the floor before you lower all the way down. And it's okay if you go to roll back and you just lose it and you roll all the way back. It happens a lot, okay? It could happen to me anytime. So reach the arms forward, try to bring your heels down and your butt down, and then walk your feet to the edge of your mat. All right, so this is the part of class where I say just remember where your things are, like your water, and if you have a phone nearby, you don't want to knock the water over, right? I do that pretty often. So reach the arms out in front of you, press from your big toes. Inhale to lift up your chest. On your exhale, lower back. If you need more stability here, your hands come down to the floor or you turn to your side to lower back. Then draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And it could take a moment here to really get that squeeze, right? The hips may need to calm down. The lower back may need to relax. So you might try rocking a little side to side, little circles. All right, so now we'll see if we can take a little bit tighter grip. So flexing your feet, maybe you can wrap your hands more around the front of your legs and interlace your fingers. Sometimes people can grab opposite elbows and do that, right? So wherever your range of motion is, go there, but make sure that whatever grip you take, it doesn't lift your head or it doesn't make your chin point up. You may need to put a pillow under your head to stabilize it. So tucking the chin a little, shoulders down, flex your feet. Inhale, let your belly lift. On your exhale, pull your knees in. Press your hips down towards the floor. 2 more just like that. Inhale, belly presses up towards the legs. Exhale, pull your knees in, press your hips down. Last one, inhale. Exhale and pull. Release your grip, send your heels up towards your ceiling, flexing your feet. When you lift your legs up, just make sure you're not tilting so the toes are drawing towards your face. Try to keep them straight. Flex the feet, reach your fingers towards your toes. Lift your head and shoulders off your mat. Hold it here. Engage the core. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, lift up and hold. Flex those feet, pull in the core, lift a little more, hold it here. And on your exhale, lower down, knees in, give yourself a squeeze. Head moves gently side to side, help release any tension there. And now bring the feet to the floor. So similar to how we rolled back, the toes and the ankles are forward of the knees, as opposed to something like a bridge pose where we would bring the heel in under the knee. So just walk the feet forward like we did when we lowered back. Press down from the big toes. If you'd like to have something in between your thighs here, this can help with some inner thigh engagement as we move through these crossbody crunches. Now you can take your hands behind the back of your head, elbows wide, shoulders stay down. Engage your core, press from the feet, deep breath in. On your exhale, lift up. And this might be where you go. You just lift up and down. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. If you'd like to add a little more, when you lift up, take one hand across your body. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, option to twist. Exhale to lower. So at your own pace. Do what feels best or most, acceptable in your body today. Right? Every day is not the same. Some days there's things I shouldn't do. All right, so come back to your center, lift up your knees, flex your feet, hold it here for 3, 2, 1, lower down. I like a full stretch here. You take whatever you need. So I'm going to point the toes, reach the arms overhead. Okay, so we'll bend the knees and then lift up the tailbone, placing the back down, and that's just making sure we're in the right place. So let's set up the left heel under the left knee. We'll go into a figure 4. Lift your right leg, cross it over your left. Make sure that your ankle has enough room to rotate here. In other words, make sure your foot is not caught up on your left thigh. Then flex your foot, lift your left foot off of the floor. Take your hands behind the back of your left thigh and interlace your fingers. If you can't reach, here's where you want to get like a belt or a strap involved to make your arms a little longer. So we'll tuck the chin and bring the shoulders down. Inhale, left leg draws in. Exhale, right thigh presses away with the right elbow. And it's a very tiny movement. Inhale, left leg in. Exhale, right elbow presses into the right thigh. And it could be the forearm. It doesn't have to be the elbow. One more inhale. Exhale. Bring your left foot down, send your right leg up, flex, point, and take some circles around your ankle. And then bring your right foot down. Send your left leg up, cross it over the right. Lift your right leg up, flexing both feet. Hands behind the back of your right thigh. So adjust yourself, tuck your chin, shoulders down. Inhale, right thigh draws in. And remember, this is like a centimeter of movement. On the exhale, left elbow or forearm presses into the left thigh. And you really feel that stretch in the hip flexor and the thigh. Inhale, right leg in. Exhale, left leg away. And if you have IT band or piriformis issues, this is a huge stretch. Inhale, right leg in. Exhale, left thigh away. Bringing your right foot down, left leg up. Point, flex, take some circles. And bring your right foot down. So soles of the feet touch, knees open, recline, bound, angle. There's a lot of different ways to be in this shape. So if you have a favorite, go for it. I always recommend supporting yourself with something underneath the thighs and knees. If your knees are really up in the air, you could turn a block on its side to help support you. This pillow is kind of sliding around, so not a great example. But with the block, you just angle it to the side and get it to stick. And if the body is supported, it's not fighting itself, so it's less likely to create an injury, right? There's nothing wrong with using props. You can also put something underneath your feet. Right, hands relax where it's most comfortable for you. You might feel a natural curve in your spine. As long as it's not painful, it's okay. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Press into your feet. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Keep pressing into the feet and take your hands to your legs or knees and let the hands help you bring your knees back in. Once those feet are grounded, walk your feet out, let your knees draw in towards each other, and then bring one knee down and then the other. Nice stretch for the hip flexor, the IT band. If you have tightness in your glute, you probably feel it here. Walk your feet back in towards your body. Extend your left leg long. Draw your right knee in, flex both feet. Take your hands around the front of the knee. If you can't grip there, maybe it's more comfortable to take the hand behind the back of your thigh. Shoulders down, chin is tucked a bit. Inhale, let your belly lift up. Exhale, draw your right knee in towards the right side of your chest. Stay within your hips. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Flexing the feet, inhale. Exhale and pull. Place your right foot down. Now slide your hips over to the right just a little, and then take your twist, right leg across your body. Right arm opens up. Shoulders stay down. If your right shoulder is lifted, take less of a twist, or put something underneath your knee and underneath your shoulder. And roll back to your center when you're ready. Slide your hips back over so they're lined up with your shoulders. Right leg in, left leg out. Nope, other way. Left leg in, right leg out. Flex both feet. Inhale, let your belly lift up. Exhale, pull your left knee towards the left side of your chest. Keep flexing those feet so it's active on both sides. Inhale, belly lifts. Exhale and pull. Once more, breathe in. Slow breath out. Left foot down, slide your hips over, take your twist on this side. And roll back to your center. Slide those hips back into place. Give yourself a hug, knees in. Now here you may like to lift up your head for just a full body, a little rounding stretch. Keep your head down if that's a better idea. And if you like happy baby, hang on to your feet, lower your head down, lift up your heels and draw your knees down towards your underarms. And you can go outside of your hips here, right? So inside of the hips will be like inside of the arms. Outside of the hips can be on the outside. And you can rock a little left and right. You can be still. Some people like to straighten their legs here, so do whatever you like. Maybe you have to try some things out too to see how they feel, right? Sometimes we have different ideas about our body and how our body really is. All right, when you're finished there, bring your knees back in, close those hips with a little squeeze. If there's anything else that you like to experience in your body before we settle into a few moments of stillness, go for it. Otherwise, send your legs long. You're welcome to take any sort of shavasana that suits you best, right? Legs up the wall, legs up a chair, traditional, ultra supported, whatever you like. Arms by your sides, palms up. Now, I personally like to squeeze the shoulder blades in and lift the chest and then let it go. And then follow that with the glutes, rocking a little left and right. They're engaged. That helps to lift the hip flexors up and then let it go. Closing your eyes, scan your body, and just begin to notice anything muscular, right, that you might still be holding on to. Maybe you have some tightness that you're just ultra aware of. To see if you can contract that muscle, squeeze it, and then let it go to get it to relax. And you may have to use that sort of technique throughout your whole body or different places in the body, just as a kind of notion to signal it's time to relax. Move your tongue away from the top of your mouth. Create a little space between the eyebrows. Maybe your eyes roll back. Be quiet here for a minute or so and then move to our seats for a breathing exercise before we close class. If you'd like an extended shavasana, you might just want to mute me in about a minute so I don't bring you out of it when I start talking again. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Any kind of little movement or stretch you might like on your way up to your seat. And again, you can stay here. You don't have to come to your seat. Okay, so if you are at a seat, it does not have to look like mine. It could be any kind of seat is perfectly fine. Hands to your knees. You could flip the palms up or down, whichever you prefer. Engage your core, lift up your chest. Take a big breath in. Through your nose, try to squeeze all that air out. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Return to a normal breath. And if it is a part of your practice, back to Anjali Mudra. Keeping the eyes closed for a moment here. Thank your mind and your body for what it's capable of today. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to take care of yourself. Thanks to You Call This Yoga for supporting this class and our sponsors and our donors. And again, my name is Kristen. Have a good day, everyone. Namaste. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions about class, just go to our website, find our email address. It's howie@youcallthisyoga.org. And you can go to our social media and reach us there. And I hope to hear from you soon. If you have any questions, don't just hang on to them. And then on Friday, I teach at 10 a.m. Stretch and Rest. It is a restorative version of this class. So I hope you join me. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye.